Hello, good morning. Welcome to Bars and Bells. My name is Lauren.
And I'm Ian.
And this is the weekend workout where we take our body weight, we roll, we stretch, we use our single legs, and eventually we get towards upside down. Sorry we're a little late, had a little delay, but we stuck with it and now we're here. So let's get started with a light warm up and then we'll get into the action.
And we'll get to the floor for that warm up right away. Let's go knees over toes as if we're squatting. And then right away, just push your hips through, cramping the glutes, pulling up the kneecaps, keeping the ribs down, and always going through that checklist. And then again, knees over toes. Soften the front of the ankle, and we'll stand up one more time, pushing those hips through. Before we get any lower, let's just get to the balls of the feet there, pulling the knee to the midline, amplifying that tension between those knuckles of the feet, and then towards that toe point, and then back to the balls of feet, and push the hip through so that the knee straightens. Same thing other side, heel lifts, pull to the knee to the middle, anchor through those balls of feet, and then delicately perhaps approach that toe point, and then back to the balls of feet, and then through. And we can use that high heel shape as we go down on flat feet to start, and then the heels can lift to help us get a little bit lower, and then quietly get the knees down, extend the hips, and we'll check in with the hands. So it's that hip hinge, pushing our bum back, fingers, calluses, and full hands on the floor. Quickly at the head neck, but small ranges, extension and flexion, meaning look forward. And then imagine grabbing an apple and gently tucking it towards your sternum. Repeat one more time. In this extension pose, the fingers are still heavy, the calluses as well. And those elbows are straight as we tuck our chin one more time. Then our first knuckle push up here, just like those balls of feet raises, the heels come up of the hands and then slowly back down. I like to do that lately from my modified position, as that's a little bit more challenging, but take your time and either progress to this somewhat plank position I'm in here, or we could always regress towards the wall, make it a little bit easier. Then for one more, just like Lauren, push the floor away, extend the hips through. 1/4 turn with those hands. Still hinge on the hips, fingers, calluses, hands, always thinking of the flow. And a lateral ear to shoulder neck bend. As much as I said neck bend, I don't know if I mean head bend or neck bend, but the head moves a little bit and the neck moves very little. Repeat one more time as we laterally flex the other way just to check in. And then through the hands looking down, push one way to go the other. In this case, Lauren and I are both pushing to our left, as you might go the opposite way if you push, and that's a good thing. Then push through and push those hips through. And there's one more movement for me before we hand it to Lauren, and that's our gorilla fists. So land on the index and the middle finger. Shoulders are down. At the head neck, do a rotation, looking towards the right or left, reaching through the long crown of the head there as you return the other way, and one more each way. Check in on big ranges like squats and small ranges like these rotations at the head neck, finishing with the eyes in the middle. And then open one set of fingers to be flush to the floor and gently flexing over as Lauren's wrist is showing there. And then push those knuckle heads into the ground to return to stack. And repeat the other side. The hand might open at the finger, we casually flex over the wrist, and then push down on the ground to return. One last time each side. How are the wrists feeling today? Going this way in particular, that wrist flexion, one more time each, is a helpful strategy to make the conventional hand position, say like this one here, that wrist extension, feel a little bit more available. Check in on the wrists. Until then.
Let's warm up those hips, and to do so, let's stand up. So we'll tuck our toes. We'll rock ourselves back to that low squat. For a little bonus today, let's keep those heels high off the floor. Push down into the floor, find a two-legged balance up here, and then with straight knees, control the landing. Good, let's give that a little shake and wiggle. We'll be standing, rotating our hips in internal and external rotation. And to do so, I like to turn my feet out or my legs out a little bit, standing in that V position. Imagine zipping yourself up there. So nice tight legs, butt cheeks squeezed, ribs over hips as we did earlier. And then we'll lightly shift our weight, but not tip over as we point one leg to the front. With that leg pointed, let's check in with our hips. Did that leg reach so much the hips are twisted? If so, let's pull them back into place. Then let's gently rotate the leg in, hiding the inseam, and then rotate the leg open. As we do that one more time, put those hands on your hips, making sure that that pelvis hip region, bowl of punch isn't hiking or moving, but it's the leg in the socket. Ending with that external rotation, I like to think of a compass as I reach my leg out to draw a quarter circle to the side. Once I'm at the side again, let's check in with the hips, hiked, pulled down just right, and then let's turn the leg in, hiding the inseam, turn the leg open. One more time, turn the leg in, turn the leg open, flex the foot, hold a little balance, feeling that butt cheek, maybe even thinking about finding a balance rise. Then come down with control, and there should be enough room for that straight leg to return underneath you. Let's repeat on the other side. So it's a transfer, but not. We'll point the other leg to the front, connect the big toe, reach the hip out, and then gently pull it back in. With the toe touching, rotate the leg in, hiding the inseam, and then rotate the leg open. Repeat again. Rotate the leg in, and then rotate the leg open. With the leg open, reaching out, drawing that beautiful quarter circle to the side. And then again, turn in and turn open. And turn in, staying stable on your standing leg, and turn open. Flex the foot, hold a little balance, maybe go up to that rise. Ooh, a little harder on this side for 3, 2, control the down. Straight leg remains as it comes underneath you. Whew. Give that a little shake, but don't go too far. Let's do one more really quick thing. Let's bend the knees. Point the first leg to the front. Draw a quarter circle to the side, keeping stable in the hips, the pelvis. The inseam is forward. Hold a little bent leg balance. Then tap that foot back down. Draw the circle back to the front and pull both legs straight underneath you. Second side. Bend. Point front. Stay stable. Reach the leg away. Keep the inseam forward. Return the leg to the front. Straight to pull underneath you. Give that a little shake out.
Woo. The ball and socket of the hip, very much like that ball and socket of the shoulder. Let's address some of the shoulder circles we can make from a lunge position on the floor. Knees over toes. That position already feels nice and warm. Thank you for that extra little warm up there. And then the heels can lift, taking your time to find yourself to the ground. We could also do this from standing, but I like that lunge position for now. Take the right hand and place it at your hip. Take the other leg and reach it to the front. Hip hike, Lauren mentioned that, where the tuck, the tip, always build that awareness from the core or the hip center here. And now, with that right hand at your side, elevate your shoulder and gently pull the shoulder blade down. From that position, we'll keep the elbow nice and straight as you reach towards front. Front may blend to overhead, and it might start to deviate away from the middle, and that is okay. In this position, think of that turn in Lauren just had us do on the shoulder, as you would end up turning down to the back and then hugging the midline with a nice straight elbow. And now pull, full shape for our handstand, but right now we'll pull down, extending the shoulder, meaning you reach back. And as we navigate this turn, stay forward with the hips and the chest as we turn out from that humerus socket at the shoulder towards your overhead. Maybe it's in line with the ear, but if it is, the shoulder blade is down for this moment, and then return a straight arm back down to the hip. Take the leg, a little more graceful than that next time, and switch out your lunge. Same thing this other side. Elevate the shoulder, build that awareness of the armpit lat to pull down, and then keeping the elbow straight, reach to forward. Forward may lead to overhead. Straighten that elbow as I'm checking my own video image out there. And then we'll turn around, keeping the elbow nice and straight. And by the time when it's time to pull the hand forward, keep the shoulder blade pulling backward. Then elevate, and then down to press, and reach that arm back again. Turn from the humerus at that shoulder socket, and then reach that arm towards your overhead, staying forward with the chest, and gently again, return that arm back down to the center. Then let's get back to the 2 knees position here, and might as well just get crawling or something. Get those hands going again on the floor.
Excellent. I do like to start our practice today with our bear crawl just to fire up that core. So we'll place our hands down on the floor, tuck our toes, and let's first establish that strong core by hovering the knees off the floor. Hover, hold. You may stay here, or if you want an added bonus, we're doing our contralateral walk, opposite hand and foot, taking some steps in the forward direction. They don't have to be big steps. The most important thing is we are not Winnie the Pooh here, so no side to side wiggles. Breathe. Imagine you're trying to creep under a fence or a low wall here, and then place both knees underneath you. Put them down, take a second off, and we're gonna go backwards doing the same thing. Shoulders pull out of your ears. Tension on your core as your knees hover up, and then opposite hand and foot in that backwards direction. Breathing, not spilling that bowl of water on your back by keeping that core nice and tight. Last step or two, hold, hover position without moving, pulling the floor together underneath you, breathing underneath those abs. Lift the hips up. Let's walk those hands towards our feet, getting in our hinge position. So tailbones reaching to the back wall, knees are bent, weights on hammies and glutes. Push down and out to tall. Nice.
Clear a little bit of space, have a little bit of a runway in front of you if you can. And if not, we can do this in a more or less stationary position, but we'll do an episode of our horse stance walk or our squat walk here. Feet turned out to that V like Lauren had us do in the warm-up. And from this position, let's do a squat. Then transfer the weight to a single leg and reach to the front, toe ball, heel. Pull on that foot and then push through the back hip. And then return your feet together rather, with both knees bent. Then reach the diagonal, toe ball, heel, feel a pull, push the hip through, heels together. Stay the same level or try to get lower as you can pull yourself into that next pose here, and then heels together. Reach to the front, toe ball, heel, pull, push, heels together. One last time. Diagonal reach, feel the pull, then heels connect, and one last time, front, toe ball, heel, pull, heels together, and push on through. Now let's just reverse those steps as you go down into a squat. Now reach diagonally back, toe ball, heel. Now push into that bent leg that it straightens, accepting the bend on the other, and then heels together. Reach back, push forward, heels connect. Couple more here as you reach back, push one way, go the other, just like those hands in the warm-up. And last one here, diagonally reach, push, heels connect, and push the hip through. Awesome. Well, horse stance walk.
Awesome.
Bears on the ground, horses from up tall. What else is on the menu?
Elephants.
Excellent.
It's just a big zoo. Let's take our time folding ourselves down to get to that elephant position. So to fold, we'll pull our shoulder blades together, keeping them there as we gently tuck our chin, and then start to flex through the neck, and then flex through the rib cage. As you flex through the rib cage, try to pull your shoulder blades together so that we know it's through that cage. Pull your belly button in, continue your forward fold to your full descent. And then once you're down there, let's keep our weight shifted in the forefoot of our foot. And then you can let those arms go and just dangle for a second, maybe bending one knee, straightening the other. Ultimately trying to reach the pelvis or the tailbone up towards the ceiling to lengthen out those hamstrings. Then we'll walk forward. Let's find our bear hover position. And then let's slowly lift the hips up into the air. Keep the knees bent. With the knees bent, take your pelvis and again tuck it under, and then tip it to the ceiling. Keep that anterior tip to the ceiling as you gently try to straighten your knees. Remembering we haven't been cueing the knees by straightening or driving the heels to the floor, but instead pulling those femurs in and trying to extend them up towards the sky. Breathing, your heels might not touch, that's okay. Now we're taking opposite hand and foot and traveling in a forward direction. I still want you to think about that pelvis tilt, reaching to the sky, trying to get the length in the hamstrings from the very top all the way through the belly of it and across the back of the knee a little bit. Once we've gone forward, let's take that opposite hand and foot and the walk in the backwards direction, pushing the floor forward to go backwards. The shoulders are elevated into the ears. The knees are staying as straight as possible as you walk. And then we'll walk our hands back to our feet, tuck our chin, engage our core, and fold ourselves up. So stack, 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 low vertebrae, mid vertebrae, upper vertebrae last to land. Whew.
Awesome.
I've never seen an elephant do a forward fold,
No,
but I've also never really seen an elephant. So
not in real life, actually. No, maybe another trip
put
to
that
come up
on
soon.
the to-do list.
But until we get to either the elephant exhibit or continuing with those handstands, one more episode of our squat. Open up this time a little bit wider to your squat stance and working through that Shiko style weight transfer. We'll casually pull ourselves low. When we stand up tall, just pull your feet together. Then pick up your foot, point those toes, land in your squat, and then same thing. This time we'll find our single leg base of support as we sit squat. Find a single leg, cramp that standing leg, point, land in your squat. Oops, forgot what I was about to do. Find the ankle, then point. This time, stay at the ankle or challenge yourself as you can find that knee and point and land. And again, same thing. Cramp that standing leg and point. One more time each side, where we'll slowly straighten out that leg and play with your balance here as you keep the hip extended. You might lean a little bit and then find your casual squat and then power up out of it. Same thing, straighten the leg, both legs, Ian, that's that bottom leg too. And then one more time squat and last time stand. Whew. Play with the weight on the hands, with those other weight transfers and balances will help connect those dots between your handstand and your squat. And
one thing I have seen in real life is a monkey. So let's get to that. I'm pretty sure an orangutan of some sorts. Anyway, we just squatted. So let's get back to that squat position. We've warmed it up nicely, pulling ourselves down. Next, it's going to be a hand, hand, a foot, foot. Let's take it small to start. Hand, hand, light landing, foot, foot. Use your discretion on how upside down you want to get. You could get no upside down and just move side to side. Or you could get a little more upside down and land softly on the floor. Let's return back to where we came from. It's a hand, hand, and a soft foot, foot. Try to keep those heels down in that squat position when you land. Soft landing through the feet. And one more. Whew. And then press yourself up to tall.
awesome.
Shake it out.
We play with those crawls because they're fun. Yes, they're fun, and they're functional to help us, again, feel the ground, check in on the wrist strength, elbow strength, core strength, ultimately to culminate in the handstand entries here. Lauren's favorite is that tripod entry, so I'll cue her first, and then she'll cue me into it with maybe some tips and tricks she likes to share. So for those of you who are ready to do that handstand tripod, get to the floor. Stack shoulders over wrists. Wide open base of support at the hands, and little baby airs, just a little bit. Lauren's doing a nice little kick scissor switch there. Promote some movements for that hang time. The elbows stay straight. Climb a little bit every time. Get up a little bit higher. 5 or 6, 6 or 7. Find some fun in there. Come home. Then we'll switch out. My turn.
All right. If you are not into getting up in that upside down position, maybe you're holding a plank for this entire duration with high tension. With those hands on the floor, the elbows nice and straight, the shoulders shifted over top of the wrist. Start with the baby air first. Get your head used to it. Get your legs used to how much they need to help you or not help you, depending on how strong that kick is. Ultimately, we're working towards that upside down position. But again, I would recommend practicing both legs kicking up when you're going for time or trying to do that ultimate handstand. Then you can use your favorite leg. But for now, practice both sides. Remember to push the floor away to stand yourself back up.
So nice. Let's do it twice. Working in this I go, you go away. Take your time off, looking at your training partner or Lauren here on the screen to see what she's doing really well, which could include those elbows straight. That nice scissor switch at the top. Beautiful. The toes point. The list could go on and on. We only want to do a couple more repetitions here to stay nice and fresh. Shake it out. My turn. Or our turn.
So if you were going with me, we're resting. And if you were joining Ian, go ahead. Open those hands up. Feel the connection through all of your fingers. your callus line, as well as the base of your hand. It's tricky as you're getting started figuring out where to push from and where to pull from as you go different ways, but make that connection. Your hands are that connection to the floor, just like your feet are when you're standing upright, and you use all parts of them.
Whew.
Breathe, flick away, and take a little break.
As we were walking into studio or work this morning, I said light legs or heavy legs? Lauren said medium on the legs today. So let's just casually introduce or reintroduce that single leg squat. With your feet in the parallel position, pull up a single leg to the ankle. Just 2 reps of this here today. Knee bends over the toe, keeping the tailbone in the slight cow or tip back position, and push the hip through over the knee, fully cramping the glute. Repeat the down one last time. Gently give in to that down force and power up by pushing down to push through. Toes touch, hips through, 2 reps on the other side. 2, the ankle. Hands can be on your balance aid out the side or on the hips, checking in on that level. From there, we'll push the hip through, fully straightening the knee and squeezing your bum. Repeat one more time. Soft ankle on the front. Where is that hip hike? Keep building that awareness and push your hip through. Then the other toe will touch and push your butt through that and shake it out. My favorite way to get in the handstand is this one.
It's the step-in entry. So most importantly, you start with those arms overhead, 1 foot forward, 1 foot back, and already get into that hollow shape. Then I like to think about a mini fence, and you're going up and over that mini fence. Again, start with the baby air as you get started into your step-in kick up here. And as well, think about the push away. So always get yourself back to the upright position. Push the floor away when you're done. If you leave that trailing leg behind you, it'll always pull you back to where you came from. Take your time and push away. And just like the other entry, try to use both legs.
That's it. Shake it out afterwards. Rest is best. So we'll be chilling and looking at Lauren's team as they do the same movement. Woo! Look at that. So maybe tucking in the surest performance enhancing tip, as would be rooting the fingers, callus lines, straight elbows, and the shoulder shrug. In our kettlebell practice, wear your armpits down. In this handstand practice, shrug up for that elongation and that tension from the ground to that elusive sky hook up there in the sky.
Sky hook.
Yeah, sky hook. Okay, one more time.
One more time. Arms overhead, shoulders elevated right away, ribs to hips. As I was doing that, I was thinking about my breath and what do I do? And I take a little inhale before I go. I brace my abs in that position, and then I rebreathe once I'm upside down. So just like when we do those high tension moves with our kettlebells, our presses, we have that light core brace. Breathe, reach to the sky. Ooh. Soft landings, no matter what you're doing.
No matter what.
No matter.
And no matter what, have fun. And no matter what, take your time so we're safe. Lauren has that last side of the step in, and it's up with pointed toes, and you can see those hands push away as she stands back up. It's the finger, callus hand, exception, flow to the floor, and then it's the reverse. It's the heel to the fingers to the as you push away. Got my words mixed up, but we'll work on that as we have continued to do with the help of you and the support of those subscribers. So, hit that subscriber button and we'll be back. But until we're back, we have one more time on that squat. Let's stake the knees into the forward facing position. Let's. Then pull up to the ankle. This time, open that knee to the side and 2 repetitions of the squat the same way. Knee bends over toe. Keep the hips forward, just like the shoulders, but try to wrap that knee around the back. And then push the hip through yet again to be tall. Final time, easy does it on the down. Spend some time in that deep position here, and then push the hip through. We'll just close that leg back to the middle. Toes touch, push your hip through. Repeat on the other side. Pull up, and my big toe is resting on that big meaty or bony bone down there, and then we'll open up to the side.
One might call it a malleolus.
Malleolus. One might call it that medial malleolus. And together, you might have malleoli. Okay, enough of that. Let's push that hip through, cramping up that glute, and then one more time, down. Hip hike. Address that. Just keep building that awareness. Wonderful way to get there, nice and low. and then pull the knee middle, toes touch, push your hip through. We crawled, we warmed up first. We crawled, we worked on some core strength, and now might be that ultimate challenge of the day. Walk around like your elephant or your bear or any zoo animal that you wish. And as we try to, with you, get towards that 1 minute handstand, I'm excited, a little bit nervous, but excited.
Tuck your shirt in and let's get ready. So assume a position. Whatever we've done today, it could be some squats, it could be some upside downs, it could be that plank crawl. We're going in 5. It might get a little quiet, but we're still live. 3, 2, upwards of a minute of fun. I'm intentionally working on my kick-ups.
Ooh, 40 seconds. Finishing with integrity, so maybe a minute was a little bit too much for me today, but at 40, I'm gonna say that's good. As Lauren then, with intention, is practicing on that kick-up with intention or by default, I'm not sure. We'll discuss that off the camera. But just like that, sometimes with that little extra push, you can get it. Sometimes it's just best to shake it out and think about it for the next time. Like next Saturday, where we'll be back live at 8-ish, depending on that internet connectivity. So thank you very much for being here. And we're not just on weekends.
We're live on Tuesday at 4 p.m. for our kettlebell class, Thursday at 4 p.m. for our bar class, where we work on those hips, strength, and mobility, and then back Saturday. In the meantime, please check out our website and our Patreon page, like and subscribe, tell your friends. And until next time, take care.
Stay strong.
And we'll train soon.
Have a great day.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye.